Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. I'm now officially back in my apartment. I am back from LCS Finals. It was an absolute blast. Houston was amazing. I just want to say one last time, thank you guys so much for everyone that I met out there, everyone who came up to me, everyone, I had people come up to me saying they like my videos, they've been watching my stuff, people wanting to take pictures, shake hands. It was all an amazing experience. Obviously, going to in-person events, especially after a pandemic, all the craziness. It was just a long time coming, and I just had an absolute blast, and just thank you so much to everyone. There was really no kind of negative moments, no lowlights, anything like that. But back to business as usual. We're back to the regular setup. I'm so excited. I'm definitely worn out. I'm definitely tired. But as always, the show must go on. And today, we are talking about a new update regarding the Selfmade situation. I know we've talked about him a little bit previously, how there's potentially been some rumors. Maybe he's, getting benched. Maybe he's getting kicked. Maybe he's going to stay with Vitality. Who knows? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content, and consider checking out the Patreon. First link in the description below for you guys to get access to my videos before they go live on YouTube and to help support me, my channel, and my content. With that being said, let's get right into this one. So I had made a video previously where, Selfmade was streaming. He says, he's heard about all these different things. We've heard this from multiple people. We've heard from I Will Dominate and K-Drill as well. I think that there could be like a little bit of musical chairs or, carousel action or whatever going on with a lot of junglers in the LEC. And Selfmade himself, he said, I don't even know if I'm going to be on Vitality. I don't even know what summer's looking like for me. And this is kind of crazy because summer starts in like a month, like 5 or 6 weeks, something like that. And obviously you want to know what you're doing so then you can start practicing together, start getting ready for the year, all that stuff. Obviously, you still got a couple weeks to get things figured out, but, most teams are starting to put their rosters together. And if you don't know what's going on, the rest of the rosters are going to be filled up before, you even have a chance to decide what your options are, what's going on or anything like that. But Selfmade also said, hey, he had heard maybe Razork is going to be leaving Fnatic, maybe Elyoya is going to be leaving Mad Lions, so maybe there was going to be some spots opening up for him. I don't know if he would return to Fnatic. I don't know if Fnatic would have him back, but maybe he'd go to Mad Lions, maybe he'd go to one of these other teams. I don't know. But today the big update we got was this, him tweeting out honeybee, or the bee emoji. And what the heck does this mean? Now, obviously, Selfmade is a guy that, he's always stirring up stuff. He's always tweeting out stuff. He's always in the middle of drama. He's always in the middle of roster rumors. Now, generally, they're not regarding himself, but hey, he's in his fair share of drama. He's bounced around to some different rosters and stuff like that. And again, what does the bee mean? We had Alfari chiming in saying, bro, bees aren't black and orange. Obviously, Alfari saying, hey, maybe you're going to go to Fnatic. I think that's kind of interesting because, we had heard previously, and we've seen all these tweets from Razork, that Razork was tweeting out sad stuff, the wilted rose, and, people have said that it doesn't seem like Razork's fitting in that well with Fnatic and all this stuff, and everyone would say, well, it sounds like Elyoya is going to go to Fnatic and Razork's going to go to Mad Lions. But then we had a new report coming out and new people saying that since it looks like Mad Lions is going to get Niski, that Elyoya might end up just staying with Mad Lions. Maybe Elyoya is happy with Niski in Mad Lions, since Mad is going to be benching Reeker and going to Niski and stuff. Obviously, there were some scenarios where Niski could have ended up going to Excel or something like that, and maybe, Elyoya was just saying, hey, if we get a good mid laner, I'll stay. If we don't, I'm out of here. But again, signs are pointing towards Elyoya probably staying with Mad Lions for the summer split, so then that's just kind of one less place for Selfmade to go. But it doesn't mean that Fnatic isn't still going to be moving on from Razork potentially. Now, yes, Fnatic could maybe look at a guy like Selfmade. They could also call up their academy jungler, Maxi, I believe his name is. We know that Fnatic TQ has had a very good year, or they could just hang on to Razork as well. But again, Alfari kind of hinting at, hey, Selfmade, aren't you going to Fnatic? Bees aren't black and orange. But Selfmade says, yeah, they are black and yellow. And of course, this bee, at least from what I am guessing and where I think most people's minds would initially go, and what Selfmade is absolutely trying to hint at here, is Vitality B. This is actually the name of the Vitality Academy team, which is pretty funny. Vitality BEE. It's not like Vitality B, and he's like, oh, it's not like the letter B, and he's tweeting out a B emoji, nothing like that. No, this is Vitality B, like the animal, the bug, whatever, B. So kind of funny. Now, obviously, Vitality B had a decent year. The LFL is a pretty tough ERL, and they finished tied for 4th. I believe they just made it out of the group stage of EU Masters as well. So things are going pretty well for them. Their jungler, I believe, is Skeens. This is a guy that we've obviously seen in the LEC before. Now, he wasn't too amazing last time, but some people do think he is still going to be a pretty good prospect, and some people still think that maybe he deserves another shot in the LEC. Now, I don't think there's a lot of people saying that, hey, he should be starting over Selfmade right now, but again, Vitality is coming off a very, very disappointing split where they were supposed to be the super team of the LEC. They were supposed to be not a team that's competing for titles, but a team that's maybe going internationally and trying to do some damage, and they finished 9-9. They were 6th place in the LEC. They got eliminated very early on in the playoffs. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean that is Selfmade's fault, but it might mean that Selfmade isn't a great fit for this team, or maybe this team isn't a great fit for Selfmade, or whatever. Obviously we know that Perks and Alfari kind of came over as a package deal. They were saying they wanted to play together. Karzi is a guy who just won a couple titles last year. Lebrov is kind of their young guy that they're really developing around here at Vitality. So, Selfmade has kind of been seen as maybe the odd man out for some people, and maybe just maybe his style of jungling doesn't fit well with these players. Maybe Perks, isn't necessarily feeling like they have that much synergy. I know during the season, Selfmade said it didn't seem like him and Lebrov had that much synergy. So maybe bringing back Skeens, who I believe has played with Lebrov before, could be an interesting move. Now, would it end up being better? Would it end up being the same? Would it end up being worse? I don't know. But again, I think that's really the only kind of conclusion you can draw from this Selfmade tweet. Now, he could just be absolutely trolling. He could be saying that he's staying with Vitality, the black and yellow, but I definitely think he is hinting at himself potentially getting benched here, or potentially starting the year in Academy, which would be crazy because, think a year or two ago, this guy was seen as potentially the best jungler in the LEC. There were people who say, he doesn't have the resume of a Jankos, but he might be better than Jankos. This is when G2 and Fnatic were kind of going back and forth. And then fast forward a couple years later, this is the equivalent of Jankos getting sent down to Academy or something like that. Obviously, again, Jankos has way more history, way more pedigree. He has a crazier resume. But again, this is a guy who was seen as just as good, maybe a little bit worse, maybe a little bit better than Jankos 2 years ago. This is a guy who was, going to Worlds and getting out of groups and doing all these things. And now, life comes at you fast, I guess. It's crazy. And there have been some talks of hey, maybe he would go to the LCS, maybe he'd go to North America, maybe some teams would want him there. There's definitely going to be teams that would want him in the LEC or teams that would want him in the LCS. But again, this mini offseason between spring and summer, teams don't always have openings. Teams weren't necessarily expecting Selfmade to be available, weren't necessarily expecting him to be a free agent, and to bring in somebody, last minute. It could screw your own players over, it could screw your own synergy over, it could screw your own roster up. But if he does get sent down, who knows how Skeens is going to do, or maybe Vitality has a whole nother option. That is absolutely a possibility as well. Maybe Vitality tries to bring in Razork. Maybe Vitality, tries to bring in Elyoya or something like that. That could be crazy. We know Vitality has money. We know they obviously are interested in building super teams and crazy rosters and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that necessarily would work out. And obviously, if Vitality still has Selfmade in their Academy League, they could always bring him back up. And if something doesn't work out, he can slot right back in. And maybe time in Academy will be a good time for him to kind of get remotivated, reinvigorated. Or maybe it'll just piss him off and he'll want to leave Vitality and he'll never want to come back. I don't know. But man, if Selfmade is joining the LFL, Selfmade, Reckless, Crown Shot, all of these different storylines and players and stuff going on in the LFL, would be interesting, would be hype, would be exciting, but it would also feel bad because I do think Selfmade is obviously a top 10 jungler in Europe right now. And I personally, it's kind of my philosophy that I always want at least most of the best players. Obviously, you have to have some young developing talent and all that stuff, but for the most part, I want the best players playing in the highest leagues because I want to watch the highest level competition. I want to have all the teams and players, getting to play and practice against all the best players and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Again, you see this tweet coupled with the fact that Selfmade has said he doesn't necessarily even know what's going on for him going into the summer split. Could very well mean that we see Selfmade getting benched, getting demoted to the ERLs for the summer split of 2022. I don't know, but that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about this. Do you think Vitality should, bench Selfmade? Who do you think should start for them? Do you think they should sell him off to another team, or do you think he should start? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.